Melissa Ferreira is widely known as the Portuguese Lara Croft due to her passion for cosplaying the iconic character in various outfits. Her love for Lara Croft and the Tomb Raider series fuels this hobby, making her a standout figure in the cosplay community. Which Tomb Raider game is the greatest of all time? What does someone feel when representing Lara Croft publicly? Is Lara Croft still relevant today? Angelina Jolie or Alicia Vikander? Meet Melissa Ferreira. Melissa, thank you for accepting this invitation, for joining the show. I know that you told me you don't have much experience in board games, so thank you for the courage in having this session with me. It's like something that Lara Croft would do, right? To venture on a new adventure and something unknown for her.
Sure, of course.
Thinking about Lara Croft, that's because your profile is very clear. You are a history teacher on the normal life, but you are known as the Portuguese Lara Croft because you do a very famous Lara Croft cosplay that is available on social media and events. That's a topic that I like very much. I'm a Tomb Raider fan as well, and we'll have for sure an interesting conversation over that. But before we start, because this is a board games channel, what is your connection with board games, Melissa?
Well, almost none, actually. I'm not very good at board games in general, not even in physical mode, let alone online games. I guess I was never a board game girl. I remember when I was little, I used to have like Monopoly and some other games, but I wouldn't play them that much. I would rather play games on the PlayStation, and it's something that it stopped happening with time as I grew older. But board games were never my thing, so I'm a little lost here. But I'll do my best to play the game with you.
For sure. Don't forget that we are already playing, and it's your move. The first move is your move. Okay, so you start with the 4 yellows. That's
Okay,
a
so I
good choice
chose the
because you
yellow
feel
ones.
already the 4th row if you go there. Yes, it's moving. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take it slowly because it's your first time, so I'll take it slowly as well. And meanwhile, it's my time to play, so I'll just pick one, and I'm filling the first row there with just one red. Okay, so let's not wait any further. Lara Croft, Melissa. So many options for cosplay. Why Lara Croft? What's the backstory?
Well, I don't think there is a very big backstory. It just happens that I'm a very huge fan of Lara ever since it came out. I was very young when I had my first Tomb Raider game. I think I was 7 or 8 years old, and my first game was Tomb Raider 3. And I had a hard time. I couldn't get past much more than the Croft Manor at that time. And then as I was growing up, I started to play a little bit more. And then another game came, which was Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, and that was it still is my favorite game of all time from Tomb Raider. And it's something that I was always very, very into Tomb Raider games. And 10 years ago, someone made the observation that, oh, you look a lot like Lara. And I started to experiment with some clothes that I had at home, and I eventually learned about cosplay. I didn't know what that was back in 2014, I guess. But then I learned about it, and I thought it was a good idea to get to know it and to get into it. And Lara Croft was my first choice. I felt most comfortable in going as Lara, and I was not prepared at all. My cosplay was very, very humble, and I didn't have a holster, for example. I didn't have proper boots, a proper backpack. So many things were lacking. But the feedback that I got from that day was so big and so warm and welcoming that it made me want to go more the next year and the following year. So I always went. And the next time I know, it's been 10 years and I'm still doing it. And so that's how it happened. And I just kept on doing it, and it's been bringing me lots of fond moments and fun memories, and it's just something that I never stopped doing.
And were you the one that gave yourself the name the Portuguese Lara Croft, or how did that happen?
No, not at all. Not at all. I'm not a very social person,
Oh, strange.
and I'm not that much into social media. I'm not.
Wow.
I didn't even have.
What a revelation.
I didn't even have an Instagram. No, I didn't even have an Instagram account for cosplay until last year. I met two wonderful friends at one of the conventions, and um, a very big friendship developed from there. And they were actually the ones who suggested, "Oh, you should call yourself the Portuguese Lara Croft, because if there was to be someone from Portugal to represent Lara, because you look so much as her, it should be you, and that would be a great name for you to give your personal, not personal, the cosplay account." And so my cosplay account is very recent. I only had my personal account, and I would just share um, some cosplay photos from time to time. But when I went to the actual events, people would ask me a lot about, "Oh, do you have an account? Do you have a cosplay account? Do you have a professional account?" And I would say, "No, I don't. I don't. I'm not that invested into any of this." And so they actually convinced me to make one, and this is the name that they told me I should go with.
From my point of view, Melissa, when you call yourself the Portuguese Lara Croft, so you're raising the bar to that high, right? So anyone else that wants to
Yeah,
cosplay
sure.
Lara Croft, at least in Portugal, right? They need to know that there is already a Portuguese Lara Croft. So yeah, you can only go below, or they really need to stretch the cosplay somehow, which I think it's more or less impossible, because I've seen your profile, right? So I've seen your cosplay, and indeed you look a lot like Lara. Probably that's something for
Thank you.
discussion, right? Probably the new version of Lara, like the more normal looking Lara. But I know you've tried both. But one thing that I see is that across time you dress like Lara in different disguises or different cosplay, different
Hmm.
suits, right? So I wanted to ask you
Different outfits.
different outfits. Thank you. How many Lara outfits do you have?
Well, I've been building my personal Lara wardrobe uh, for some years now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was something that went gradually for me. Like I told you, my first cosplay ever was very, very humble, very simple. And it got that much good feedback without it being too much, too, without me having put too much effort with it. So that's what kept me going and kept me interested in building a proper wardrobe with time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've been doing. So I've been building a very interesting wardrobe, I would say. I have some outfits that I choose from each time I go to a cosplay event, and I think right now I may have, I don't know, like 6 of them.
See?
I would say I have the classical one, a cat suit, the revival Lara, Tomb Raider Underworld, Tomb Raider Legend, Tomb Raider 3. I have another one. I think it's about 6, 7 of
Wow.
them right now.
So if tomorrow there's a cosplay event, which one would you bring? What is your decision process?
Hmm. I don't know. Maybe Legend. I love the Tomb Raider Legend game and the Tomb Raider, the Tomb Blade.
That's the brown one, correct?
The Tomb. I'm
That's the
sorry.
brown one.
The brown one. I love the
Yes.
brown one, and I love Lara in that game. She's very gorgeous in that game, and I love that costume. It's a costume that I feel like I should wear more. I think it would be the one I would take
Hmm.
with me tomorrow if there was an event tomorrow.
The proper name for the outfit is camo. You said camo, correct?
The camel outfit from Tomb Raider
Okay.
Legend.
Is it camo or camel? Sorry.
The camel. I don't know, because camel is also the animal,
Right.
right?
But the color is
Uh,
similar. Yeah, that's why I was
the beige outfit, the brown
Okay.
outfit.
Right, the brown. Don't forget we are playing. It's your turn. Okay, Melissa. Don't forget about that.
I don't know what to do right now. I'm a little confused because I just realized I have
you're right.
2 rows with the same tiles.
You cannot place that blue one because there's no room for that. So you need to put on the negative points. You need to put on the bottom row. So you need to put below everything, near the one, the white piece. Yes. So you get 2 negative points there, but don't worry. So now it's scoring for the first time. Speaking about Lara's different versions, do you see differences between the original Lara Croft and the reboot Lara Croft? And do you prefer the more confident adventurer or the more vulnerable survivor?
Oh, that's a very big talk for me. That's a topic
Let's
of
talk.
conversation, Tomb Raider related, that so many people want to hear from me, and I have such a strong opinion on it. I don't know if I'm able to explain it fully in English. I hope I can. I think, well, without a doubt, I really prefer the old classical Lara. She's classy, she's very strong, she's very beautiful, very gorgeous. And the revival Lara is different. I really liked the approach of the Tomb Raider reboot, especially the first game. It's my second favorite game from Tomb Raider, actually. But it's just the first one. The second and the third one, I didn't like them because I felt like they tried to retell the story of Lara and her origins and how it all started. And I think the first game really has a very believable story.
Mm-hmm.
Like if someone had told me, hey, this is how Lara Croft started. She went on this adventure with her friends and this happened and this made her who she is right now. I would totally believe it. But then the second and the third game, they just kept on insisting with the vulnerable side and with the daddy issue, Lara, and with the bow and arrow. And just a survival thing. And then they just completely turned her into a very aggressive person in the third one. I couldn't recognize Lara there anymore. So I really liked the first game of the reboot. It's very believable. It's a very good game. My second favorite game of all time from Tomb Raider. But then the 2 following games were not for me at all. Unless in terms of graphics and gameplay, they were very amazing. But my choice will always be the classical retro old Lara, old school Lara.
The one that you also grew up admiring, right?
Mm-hmm.
From your childhood. And we had the Angelina and Jolie movies, and then we have the more recent ones with Alicia Vikander, right? How do you feel about the way Lara was portrayed in movies versus the game?
Angelina Jolie was amazing, and I feel like she's in some sort of throne for Lara Croft. I think she was the most appropriate person to play that part. I think the only downside that I would say, it's a very small thing. Her eyes were blue, and Lara's eyes are brown, as we know. That's the only thing that she didn't fulfill, because everything is perfect. Her attitude, her demeanor, her acting skills, the way she incorporated Lara Croft, she's amazing. And her movies are always I'm very fond of those movies. The most recent ones with Alicia Vikander, I didn't like it that much. I don't think the reboot games needed a retelling in cinema, and I don't think Alicia Vikander was that similar to that Lara. I know the reboot Lara is supposed to be different from the Angelina Jolie Lara and the old school Lara, but even so, I don't think that Vikander was the appropriate choice for Lara Croft, for the reboot Lara Croft, because I don't think the reboot Lara is similar to Alicia Vikander at all. I think she was a little bit of a miscast there. So yeah, I rather much prefer the old movies.
So if I heard correctly, you start playing on Tomb Raider 3. That's when you started. The original one was Tomb Raider.
Was my first game.
Was just called Tomb Raider 3, right, at the time? There was no subname. Okay. You have this academic background in history because you are a history teacher. So do you think that like for history helped you also to connect with the Tomb Raider games?
Yeah, that's very interesting. People sometimes make me questions about the cosplay and Lara Croft, and they don't go that far as to make these connections with my personal life and Lara. Those are very interesting questions. I always find them. Well, I think Lara was just a click on how much we are alike in many things. Um, I love history. It was always my favorite subject from a small age. When I was a little girl, I had many, many books about many subjects. I was a nerd. My parents bought me a lot of books about the most different subjects you could imagine. And history was always a favorite of mine. And so it just happened that Lara Croft was also very, very much into history. Um, I actually went to follow journalism at first in my academical path. Um,
Oh,
I really enjoyed
okay.
the course and the academic experience of it all. And history was always a subject that I had to follow if I wanted to be a journalist. So it always has made part of my academical journey. But yeah, I ended up giving up journalism to be a teacher instead because it gives me so much more fulfillment rather than the journalism, which was a very tough profession. Let me just say. Um, so I ended up becoming a teacher instead, and I love it. And but yeah, I think it's something that we have in common. Me and Lara, we both are history nerds, but I don't think it was because of Lara. I was already like that, and it just happened that she's like that as well.
Tomb Raider 4, The Last Revelation, your favorite. I don't think I have a
She's my
favorite if
favorite.
I try to think. Yeah. Why is that? What does Tomb Raider 4 has that made that special place for you in your heart?
Oh, because well, I think first of all, the environment is amazing. The surroundings, all the Egyptian uh,
Mm-hmm.
theme of the game. I am a sucker for Egypt. It's one of my dream trips.
Me too.
And when I was a little girl, I was already that much of a fan of Egypt. So when the game came, and it was my second game, I was completely fascinated, and I wanted to play it so bad. And I played a very big portion of it without any kind of help for some years. But then the game started to get a little more difficult, and I was only able to end it a while later when I was a little older.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an amazing game. I Something very important happens at the end of the game. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's a very big game, and I'm so excited that it's going to have its remake
Yeah.
next week with the remaster of
Next
it,
week? Okay.
and
Great
also the
timing.
fifth game and the sixth game. I'm
Great
sorry.
timing for our conversation. It's next week, the
Yes,
release of
yes, I'm
the
very
next three.
excited.
And you will have the first six already remastered, right? Because there's already
Yeah,
120.
I already have the first
Mm-hmm.
three. They came out precisely a year ago, and now the next three are going
Wow.
to come, and I'm very, very excited about them.
I'm trying to remember the very important part that you are mentioning. So my memory for games that I played more than 20 years ago, it's a bit fuzzy, but overall, I remember that the story was about Lara and her tutor, right? Her teacher,
Yeah, that's the game.
and
hmm
she was suspected of killing him. Correct? That's it.
That's in the sixth game, the Angel of
That's the sixth game.
Darkness.
Sorry, but I remember that this her tutor disappeared somehow as well. But that's not the fourth.
hmm
Maybe it is. I don't
No,
remember.
it's in the fourth,
Hmm.
but then they see each other again because the fourth game starts with her as a teenager with her
The
teacher,
child, right? As a teenager.
and
Yes.
something happens along the way. In that first level he disappears, but then in the same game later when she's an adult they meet again, and
Okay.
then they meet again on the sixth game,
Okay. The sixth
and
game,
she
it's
is,
always a
well,
problem for every Tomb Raider fan, right? So I don't remember
for
much about
everyone.
this, and I don't. Not for everyone. If you watch the podcast, you will find someone that the favorite Tomb Raider game is the sixth one. Yes, but I'll leave it
The
up to
sixth
you to
one.
see to go and search for that video.
hmm
I remember that there was a level there. I don't remember which one, but I had to use a walkthrough to pass the level because I was not able to do it by myself. and I was like 12, 13 at the time, or 14. But it was too difficult for me, and through a walkthrough I was able to pass that level. So yes. And you were younger, so I admire your courage to try to play that.
The same with me. Only later, like when we found out about cheating codes and those PlayStation magazines who sometimes came with some cheating tutorials and things like that. That's the only time when I was actually able to pass some of those levels. And the Angel of Darkness game was that game that I don't know. I'm only revisiting it now with the remaster because I remember being stuck in this level, which was an underground rink, a box rink. I think I was very, very young,
Yeah, I don't remember.
more than 20 years ago, I would say. I don't remember it very clearly, but I remember it was a very tough game to beat and it was very frustrating. I really hope that this time around with the remaster, they have rearranged the game in a way that gamers today can really enjoy it this
Hopefully.
time around.
Mhm.
So I'm really hoping to see how it went.
I totally understand what you're saying, because I've played the first Tomb Raider on PC, and for example, you could save the game anytime. And then I've played the second, the third, and the fourth and the fifth on PlayStation. And then on PlayStation, you were limited to the number of saves that you could do. You if I remember correctly, you need either to use a save crystal, or you could only save on certain points in the game. I definitely remember that Tomb Raider 3, you had to have some kind of resource to save the game, and you
The
had to manage
crystals, the blue
yeah.
ones, the
So
blue
you
crystals.
imagine playing a Tomb Raider, which you die on every false step, right? Having to play that and then replay a save game in the beginning of the level. That's crazy. So I use the sheet that I got somewhere, magazine or whatever, to have unlimited saves, at least that, unlimited saves, to be able to save anytime. So it was very unfair.
And I remember when I started playing that game for the first time, my parents didn't. I didn't have a memory card yet, and my parents didn't even know that that was a thing and that was a necessary thing. So I suffered a lot until I had my first memory card to play the game, and other games that I had. So yeah, I suffered even more, I think.
It's hard to play Tomb Raider without a memory card. Indeed.
It is.
So I would like to do a journey with you, just to quickly recap if I still have some memory of Tomb Raider games. So the first one, you are going after the scions, right? The 3 artifacts. So
The Scion.
the sign. So you have the classic level in the caves in the beginning, and then you visit. I don't remember. You visit Greek temples. There was some Greek themes there, and then in the end, it ends in Atlantis, where you fight some monsters. That was the first one. Then the
Yeah,
second one is the classic with the Chinese culture, but it has the iconic Venice levels.
in Italy. Yeah,
Italy, and what else? I don't remember. And you go then to
and then you go
Tibet.
underwater as
I
well.
remember Tibet, and there was some underwater. Yes, the underwater parts. You visit a sunken ship.
And the underwater parts
Yeah,
were so tough.
very tough indeed. The final boss is the dragon, and you have to take the dagger out of him. I remember, in order for him to die, because he was
Out of it,
unbeatable.
yeah.
Yes, I remember that. I'm not looking into Google and just looking and telling you the things that I'm reading. I'm trying to remember my mind. Then we spoke about the fourth one, which was on Egypt. The whole game was in Egypt.
Hmm.
I don't remember how there was content in Egypt for a whole game.
Uh, well, that first level, which is a tutorial level with her a little younger with her teacher, it's in Cambodia.
Okay.
And then some years go by. She's an adult now, and she's going to Egypt. So, and aside that first level, which is a tutorial level, it's everything in Egypt, and it's very,
So
very
I don't remember
beautiful.
that Cambodia part.
I really like the surroundings of that game, the environment of that
Mhm.
game, and I have this passion for Egypt culture, so it's a very beautiful game, and I can't wait to see how it's going
Mhm.
to be with these new graphics of the remaster
The
version.
fifth game, I don't remember anything, Melissa. Anything.
The fifth game, um, well, so something happens at the end of the fourth game, and the creators wanted to please the fans so much because the fans were in despair, and they ended up making a fifth game. But the fifth game is a collection of previous adventures that were unheard of from Lara Croft. So yeah, you should play
Yeah,
it.
well, I did, but I don't remember much. Maybe it was not impactful as others, being the fifth game probably.
No, I think it was more of a fan service game
Mm-hmm.
for
Okay.
the players who were a little sad about the events of the fourth game. So it wasn't. It's not a very big game. I think it's a very easy game to beat, um, except from maybe the last one. The last level is a little tough, but it's a very enjoyable game, and I think the gameplay is very easy. It's a very enjoyable game. I like to play it. It's not my favorite, but it's an easy game to play.
Then we have this, let's call it the sixth Angel of Darkness, which is the black sheep for everyone, mostly everyone.
The Black Sheep.
And I don't remember much, but what I remember is that it's in a city, mostly Paris or London or something, and you have another character, a guy that throws a ring
Mm-hmm.
or a ringed blade or something, and there's a
Yeah,
conspiracy against Lara.
I don't remember much about the game. I really want to revisit this time around with the remaster, but I don't remember much about it. I was very young. I think this was more than 20 years ago.
Next week you'll be able to, if you get the game, you will be able to revisit
Yeah,
it.
I couldn't go very far into that game because it was very frustrating to play it, and me and my brother, we gave up at some point, and I don't remember much of the
Mm-hmm.
story and of the gameplay. I remember there was a lot of conversations you had to make with these characters on the street. Like she goes through the Parisian streets, and you have these characters that you have to make a conversation with, and then you have the option of choosing which sentence are you going to say uh, to answer to the thing that the character is telling you. So
I don't
it's a
remember. Yes,
little.
so it faded away. It faded away. Faded away. And then after there is trying to be accurate here. So there was Tomb Raider Legends, right? And
Mhm.
then which is another story. Then Anniversary, then Underworld, and Legends and Underworld, they are connected. They're very focused on Arthurian legends. I remember there was Excalibur and other things. And then the reboot.
The Legend one,
And then the reboot, right? And then the reboot.
and then the reboot.
Yes. Yes.
I think the Legend one is very good. They they stayed faithful to that old school Lara, but they gave her a little bit of a glow up. And she's so gorgeous and so classy in that game. And the adventure is very good. I think it's my third best game, my favorite game, maybe second, third game, along with the first from the reboot.
Okay.
Uh, the Underworld is a little more difficult to play. And then the Anniversary, I think it's a retelling of the 1st
Mhm.
one.
With better graphics.
Um, Yeah, but I think from that trilogy, Legend, Anniversary, Underworld, my favorite one has to be the Legend
Legends.
one.
Okay. In
Hmm.
that sense, do you prefer the classic core design games or the new Crystal Dynamic? You have the last ones are from Square, but made by Crystal Dynamics,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
the ones in the middle were done by Crystal Dynamics as well. And the first ones, the first five, they were done by Core and Eidos at the time.
Ah,
So which ones do you prefer?
well, I prefer the old school ones, the first five, because that's true Lara Croft right there. And then I really like the Tomb Raider Legend trilogy as well because they kept that same Lara, only with a different design. And then the most recent trilogy with the survival Lara, I don't know, it didn't click with me as much. I think it should have ended with the end of the first game, but they wanted to make a second one and a third
Yeah,
one, and
they
I
wanted to
didn't see
squeeze the
Lara
money.
there anymore.
Okay, cool.
I didn't recognize her as Lara anymore.
What is your favorite moment or level in any game of the series? The most iconic moment for you?
Moment.
Would it be in Tomb Raider 4? Something that happens in Tomb Raider 4? I can tell you mine while you think. Mine is easy.
What's yours then?
It's first Tomb Raider, third level, when you walk in the valley and the Tyrannosaurus Rex walks into your direction.
The first one.
On the first Tomb Raider, third level.
That's a very good choice
Yeah,
of moment.
very iconic. Very iconic.
My very favorite moment. Oh, I never thought about it. Maybe what's my favorite Tomb Raider moment? I don't know. I don't think I have an answer for that. I never thought about it.
Okay. If you remember later, Ben, you can share during our
Mhm.
conversation. There are so many. There are so many, right? Maybe there are so many that it's
Yeah.
difficult for you to choose. Okay. And in terms of more future games, there's nothing announced, at least that I'm aware. If you had the chance to impact or to be part of the decision process for the next Tomb Raider game, what would it be about?
Well, I think they should bring old Lara back. I think nowadays we have such good graphics and such good storytellers and such good games in general. I'm already very pleased with the fact that they are bringing the old games back with the remasters,
Mhm.
and I think that's the best thing they could have done because they were able to keep that design, that old school design, but just a little bit more perfected. And I think that's very, very charming. And I think that's everything a fan could ask for. So I'm very happy that they have done that now. In the future, I think they could just, I don't know, make just like as they did in with Legend. They gave her a glow up, and the graphics were so much better. I think they could do something like that, a realistic Lara, but an old school Lara, not the survival one. I think it's enough of that because she had that first story with her friends in the island. She was a scaredy cat, and then she starts being brave with time, and she actually ends up with the two pistols at the end of the game. It should have ended there. Um, I really wish they could continue to make games for her in many places around the world, more cultures, more artifacts, but with the old school Angelina Jolie like Clara
Okay.
again, because that's who Lara Croft
Hmm.
is, you know, not the survival Lara anymore. I'm so
If
tired of
if the
her.
Portuguese Lara Croft says, we need to agree, right? If if the Portuguese Lara Croft says, okay.
Yeah.
Um, and what about besides Tomb Raider? Do you like to play other kinds of games?
I don't play that much nowadays. I have a very busy life. I not only teach history this school year, I'm also teaching geography and French. So that's three subjects. I don't play that much anymore today. I think the last game I played recently was the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I loved
Okay.
it. I wasn't familiar with the original,
Hmm.
I mean, I had a general knowledge of it. Like I knew about the names Cloud, Aerith, Sephiroth. I knew about it, but just very, very vaguely. I didn't play the original game, and now I had the opportunity to do so with my boyfriend, which is he's a very hardcore fan of that game, and we both play that game. So he introduced me to the game, and I was very, very in love with the game. And I actually made for the first time in my 10 years of Lara Croft cosplaying, I did a cosplay that was not Tomb Raider related. 2 years ago, I went as Aerith. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it was the first time I made a cosplay that was not Tomb Raider related, and I loved it very much. So that's how much I enjoyed playing that game. But I don't play that much at all,
Okay.
actually, anymore. I am an enthusiast. I like to know about the games that are coming out and what they are doing in terms of gaming in general. But I don't play that much anymore.
Okay. Me neither, unfortunately. And I haven't had the chance to play Final Fantasy Rebirth, although I've played the original one.
Oh, you
So
should.
yeah, I need to.
It's very, very long.
I will find for sure time to add that to my agenda because I really liked the original game, which I played for 60 hours probably, and so I really want to try the new one for sure. Have you had the chance to see the Netflix series for Tomb Raider?
Oh, I did, and I actually did a cosplay of that as well recently in November. I made a cosplay of that animated version of Lara, and I took it to Lisboa Games Week.
Hmm. Okay. Because when I watched like 2 or 3 episodes,
You didn't enjoy it?
Oh no, I still need to see the remaining ones. I just watched the first three, and I didn't notice there was a difference between that Lara and the previous Laras. It
The
looked the
survival one.
same. The survival one. There's the same kind of blue. There's Jonah, right, which
Yeah.
is also a character from Survivor.
Ah,
So
he's very annoying. I don't know why they insisted so much with that character in the reboot series. I think he's very he I don't know, he doesn't add up anything, and he's very I don't know why of all the bunch of friends he was the one who stayed, and why was he chosen to be the one who follows Lara and is like the best friend. I think it's a very I don't know, they are not very I don't know, they don't combine. So I don't know why they insisted with Jonah. Even in the animated series, they brought him back again for the animated
yeah.
series. Like enough of Jonah. But I really enjoyed the animated series actually, and I am very eager to see the continuation. There's going to be a second season, and I can't wait to see it. I was very positively surprised with the animation. I'm a little
Mhm.
reticent when in terms of live actions, remakes in general nowadays, because anything I try to watch that's a remake or a live action or a sequel of something, it's generally a waste of money.
Oh.
I think many good stories are thrown away um, for the sake of, I don't know, inclusion and agendas and things like that. And they end up ruining so many good stories with all those things and live actions and sequels. So I was a little reticent with the animation, Lara, but I gave it a chance and I was very happily pleased with it.
Hmm.
So I can't wait for the second season.
Okay.
I was on the edge of my seat
Didn't
on the
I
last
didn't know there
episode.
was going to be a second season. Maybe because there's a cliffhanger in the end, and
There is.
I just did not arrive that to that point yet. But I'll revisit after this conversation because you are building in me that um, feeling of revisiting everything Tomb Raider related. So the quickest thing would be for me to go back to that series and end up seeing. And regarding Jonah, yes, I think it's a strange relationship they have because it seems like he's the big guy,
Yeah.
the strong guy, trying to protect the small girl. But then the small girl is the one that is always the hero, defeating everyone, and he's the one always getting into trouble or being defeated or falling into traps, etc.
Yeah.
And he's the one that also needs to be saved. At least on the episodes that I
Yeah.
saw, he also got into problems and almost died, etc. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't want to spoil that. Ultimately, about Lara Croft, Melissa, do you think Lara Croft is still relevant today? And what does the future of the series look like for you, besides what you have in Netflix?
Well, I don't know. I think that question would have to be asked to the this new generation of young
Okay.
people. I think Lara Croft will forever be an icon for the 90s kids,
Mhm.
which I am part of. I was born in 1991. Um, I don't know if she's still relevant for these young people today, but I think so, because I teach, as you know, I'm a teacher, and I sometimes hear in the halls of the school, in the school halls, I hear them talk about many fandoms, and sometimes I still hear the name of Lara Croft. So I'm guessing, I think she's so big that she is still able to capture the attention of young people today. I'm just not sure if they are aware of the old-fashioned Lara Croft, or if they are only familiar with the Survivor one. I really hope they get to know the old school Lara, because that's the one true Lara Croft that there ever was. Right? No matter how many adaptations and remakes and um, new franchises that they come up with, that's the old school Lara, and I really hope they get to know her if they don't
Hmm.
already.
Maybe with the remasters, they have the chance to revisit those games. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes I meet people in the cosplay events. Um, they bring their kids along
Mm.
and they come to me and say, "Oh, I'm so happy that I found you. I was a very big fan when I was a youngster, and I used to play on Sega. I didn't even know there was a Tomb Raider for Sega back then, and now it's my kid who's playing, and he's playing the old games, and I passed my old games on to him, and how he's the one playing. And they bring their kids, and the kid is there with him, with the father, and oh, now I'm the one playing my dad's game. So
Mm.
that's good. I'm really happy that people that are now fathers and mothers, they are passing
Passing
on to
on.
their
Yeah.
kids the legacy.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very
Mm.
funny because, let's be real, they are very good games. They are very good games, and I think it's inevitable for anyone who tries to play them not to fall in love with Lara and with the adventures. I think they're very addictive, and that's what made so many people love Lara Croft games so much in the first place. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very good
For
thing.
some people, at least for you and I, it's a very charismatic character. Um,
Yeah.
you were saying that you hear people, the kids in the school where you work talking about Lara Croft. Maybe they're talking about you when you pass, right? Oh, there goes the history teacher that also cosplays
Oh,
Lara
I'm so
Croft.
scared if they eventually find out.
Don't they?
I'm
They
so
don't
scared if they
know
eventually
that you
find out.
cosplay Lara Croft.
No, no, they
No.
don't. They don't. I mean, some of them. Well, now I'm teaching in a new school this year, but there are some people, some students from a previous school that I worked in that know. So now this is a fancier school. This is a new school. It's a private
Mm-hmm.
school, and I'm not scared if they actually find out. But it's their parents I fear the most. Um, there's nothing wrong with what I do and with my hobby, but you don't know the parents, and parents nowadays have this problem that they are too hard to please. They are very difficult people today,
Okay.
unlike our parents, for example. And sometimes I'm scared if they ever found out that I am a Lara Croft cosplayer, would they think that I am, I don't know, that my photos are too racy, are too, I don't know, too sexy or something? I don't think my photos are too sexy. I think I have a very chill demeanor to my posts. There's those girls, and by no means I intend to offend any girl. I'm not doing it. But there's some girls who they take advantage of the cosplay, of being in the cosplay community and of their love for cosplay, and they take that and they use it to promote themselves in a very sexy way, sometimes with very revealing
Mm-hmm.
clothing and attitude. And I don't think I have that kind of approach to anything that I post. But sometimes I wonder if any parent who would see that would find it a little too much for a teacher. I don't know. So that's my only fear. But the few parents that know about it, they say it's fine. They actually find it funny, and they don't make any deal out of it. But there's always that little fear inside of me. So I really hope they actually don't find it.
Okay, so let's hope they don't find this video as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the kids would be fine with it, and they see me as the cool teacher,
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
if they ever found out about me being a Tomb Raider cosplayer, I think they would only find me even more cool. So
Probably,
I don't
probably,
fear the kids. I don't fear the kids.
probably. Uh,
Yeah.
just let me just finish my play here because I wanted to talk to you about cosplay community. Um, I know you are very focused on what you do on cosplay, but how has being part of the cosplay community impacted your life?
Well, it started out as something very, very light, just for the fun of it. I was always very interested in cosplaying as Lara, even though I didn't know anything about cosplay being a thing. And one day, back in 2014, 15, I saw something that, oh, it's a cosplay event. It's a place where people go dressed up as their favorite characters, and there's gaming involved and Japanese culture involved. Maybe I could go. And then my boyfriend back then, he bought me these tickets for us to go as a surprise. It was a birthday surprise. And it was a little too close to the event, so I didn't have much time to prepare. And that was the first time that I told you about that. I was very, like, my outfit was very, very
Mm-hmm.
simple, and I wasn't very confident when I went there. I was a little scared, but people just came to me, and the feedback was so good. Oh, there's Lara Croft. Oh, there's Lara Croft. Hey, look, that's Lara Croft. And they came to me, and the feedback was so nice. it made me want to go, oh, next year I have to go again, and this time a little bit more prepared. And so like I told you, I started slowly to build my wardrobe, and I started buying a new piece there, a new shorts, a new top, like better pistols. So everything started to compose a little bit more, and I always went. I kept on going, and I made such good memories up till now. I have met such good people. You know, this name of the Portuguese Lara Croft. Those two friends that gave me the idea for this, they are one of the most two of the best people that I've ever encountered in my life. And I am a little sad that we live a little bit apart and we aren't able to meet that
Mm.
often. But those two are just an example of so many good people that I've encountered along the way while doing the cosplay and attending the events. So it's a very good
Mhm.
thing. Uh, Sometimes I wonder, will I ever stop going? And sometimes there's years that I'm like this. Should I keep going? I don't know if I should go this year. I don't know if I'm very much into it this year. But then I go, and when I go, I always feel so grateful that I went. You know, because I
Mhm.
there's always so many funny things that happen and so many good people that you meet. So why not
Mhm.
go again? So I always end up going again and
Like,
again.
so I've never did any cosplay in my life, and I don't see myself doing it. But I'm curious about the feeling that you
It's
described.
fun.
What does someone feel when you are cosplaying Lara Croft and someone approaches you and tells you, "Oh, you're Lara Croft," and they see Lara Croft in you? What's the feeling inside? Can you describe that? It's like mission
Uh,
accomplished. It's like, what is it, Melissa?
you know, I'm so not used to attention in real life. You know, I know it might sound a little strange because I have an account and I do cosplay and I dress as Lara
It
Croft,
is.
but
It sounds strange.
reality,
It,
I'm
it
sorry.
indeed sounds strange.
No, it does. I am not an attention-seeking person at all. So when people give me this amount of attention during the cosplays, I always get so humbled and so happy. I actually forget I'm doing a cosplay when I'm there. So when people come to me and they hug me and they cry, because that's happened to me. That's happened to me. Oh, we've met each other because of Lara. Oh, you are what the human Lara Croft would look like if she was real. Oh, my son. Like they tell me their experiences, their personal experiences, and that's so good, you know, because I'm just a regular person, a regular girl. But during that little bit of time that I'm in the event, they don't know Melissa, they don't know my name, they don't know who I am, but they see Lara Croft and they are happy. And I make their day, and they tell me about their personal experiences, and they tell me about, oh, I met my husband like this. Oh, I had my son or my daughter, and I named her Lara because of Lara Croft. You know, these kind of stories are so nice to hear, and you go home at the end of the day with such a filled heart. You know, and that's the main thing that keeps me want to go. Not just because of my love for Lara. I mean, I have a love for Lara, otherwise I wouldn't do this. But also because the things you get are so nice and warm,
Oh,
and I don't know. It Lara brings people together. You know, these fandoms, these characters that people cosplay as. They have so many stories attached to them, and that's what brings people to love
mm-hmm.
them. So it's very nice that I am able to. I don't know, to be Lara uh, on this level, and to provide people with these good moments and make them remember such good moments. And they come to me and they want to be my friends and they want to meet me. And it's such a good feeling, you know, not for me personally for the attention of it, but because it's just a very good thing that's created in that moment, you
So
know.
beautiful. I've never heard anything like this
It
being
is,
described.
it actually
Cosplay being described in this kind
is.
of feeling side of it. And probably you
Yeah.
trigger you and anyone that cosplays and has that kind of tension is because they're triggering some good feelings on people or good memories, a good experience.
Yeah.
So it's Lara, and I
Yeah.
had so
And
many
I'm
good
very
moments
able to
playing with
provide
her.
that to people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Melissa, just to raise your awareness for the game. So we will trigger the end game because you will fill the first row. So you get 7 points, 5 points there, 8 points, a complete column, then the negatives. So your final score, no, it's not 38, could be more. Let's see. I'm on 42. Then I have negatives. So we're tied, 38, 38, 47. You won, Lara. You won, Melissa.
I
You
didn't.
won, yes.
I did?
You see, 47 against
Did I
38.
win this?
You won the game.
I wasn't okay, 47,
You
38.
won.
Oh,
But
I wasn't
two
expecting this
things are
at all.
happening here. You either lied when you said, "Oh, I don't have experience with board games. I
No,
never
I
played board
didn't. For the
games,"
life of
and then
me, I didn't.
47 points on me,
No,
or
I assure you.
or we have maybe
I never play this kind of
we have
games.
a tradition
I
here
never
in the
do.
channel,
I was
which is when someone is new on board games, we go easy on them to let them win in order for you to feel great about
I was
games.
actually very distracted with the conversation. I wasn't even paying attention to most of the things that I did in the game.
And you end up winning. Probably I was doing the same because I was enjoying the conversation about Lara.
Yeah, I was enjoying the conversation, so I wasn't paying much attention. I think I did some mistakes along the way, but I was like,
And
well, something will happen.
you
I
end
don't
up
know.
winning. You end up winning. Wow. My final questions. My final
It's very
questions to you, Melissa. If someone is watching us and wants to start cosplaying Lara Croft or not Lara Croft, what advice would you give that person which is starting cosplaying?
well, I think the advice I would give is just to start and go and do it because that's how I started. I was very curious. I was already dressing up as Lara at home and I had some pictures and I took them for myself. I never shared them with anyone because I really enjoyed from that day that someone told me you look a lot like Lara Croft. Without knowing that I was a fan and that I had the games, I was like, let me see if I could dress up as Lara that good. And I started experimenting with clothes that I had at home, and without even knowing that there was events related to this. So when I knew about it and I went there with a very imperfect outfit, that's what started it all. So you just have to start, not be afraid. The community is very healthy. There's a lot of people there who are very kind. Most of them are very kind. They just want to have a good time and share their love for the characters that they represent or the games that they like, the the pop culture, I don't know, the films, the games, the series. So there's a bunch of very good people there and they welcome everyone. They don't judge anyone. They just want to have a good time. So if you go, no matter how simple and humble your outfit is, you would be surprised at how welcoming the community is. And I think it's a very healthy habit and a very healthy hobby. So just go, just start, just choose a character that you really identify with. I think it's easier for a first time, and also this is not a very important requirement, but if you are a little bit similar in real life to the character, I think that's going to help you. So that's what I did. And because the feedback was so good, I kept on doing it.
Thank you for the advice. So before we go, I normally ask in this show if the person that is speaking to me could recommend someone as the next guest, someone that has also an interesting story, an interesting project. Who do you think I should invite?
Okay, so there's this guy. He's a very good guy. We've known each other since my first ever cosplay. We met there. And I don't know if you know him already. He's Johnny from the Retro Raider account on Instagram.
I think I know Retro Raider.
Do you know
Yes.
his account called Retro Raider? Okay, he's a very cool guy.
Okay.
And we've known each other for 10 years. We actually have this picture, and we recreate that picture every time we see each other on a new event. So yeah, it's been 10 years. He's a very cool guy, and he knows a huge amount of stuff about retro gaming and gaming collections. And I think he's a little bit into board games as well. So I think he would be a very, very fun guest for you to have.
Challenge accepted. Definitely sounds like someone that could be interesting. Thank you very much for accepting the challenge. So it was a surprise for me how
Okay,
you
thank you,
handled the
Vika.
game.
Thank you for having
How
me.
you handled the game was very well.
Thank you.
And
I was a little scared,
one day,
but it was
thank
very
you.
fun.
And I hope one day we meet each other somewhere, some event where I could see in person
Yeah,
the
sure. An event or
where I could
something.
see
You
in
should go.
person the Portuguese Lara Croft and take some pictures.
Yeah, sure. You don't have to have a cosplay. You can go to the events without a cosplay.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank
Goodbye.
you. See
Goodbye.
you soon. Goodbye.